Hey guys, welcome back to another reaction video. You guys, I'm checking out video titled The German Invasion of Greece 1941. Let's check this out.
German invasion of Greece, that's what I will be talking about in this video. Now normally I am standing on a spot where the invasion actually happened, where the fighting took place. Now
that's where the fighting did take place.
War cemetery here in Athens. Why am I here?
Wow.
Why are there Commonwealth soldiers buried here? Well, that's because the Greeks did not fight alone against the German onslaught. When World War II came around, Greece was...
Really? The Greece did not really fight alone. That spot was exactly the place where the invasion actually happened. And I just get to find out that the Greece did not fight alone. Let's watch this out, okay? And see who actually fought with the Greece.
Under the rule of the so-called 4th of August regime, led by General Ioannis Metaxas, who seized power in 1936. Greece was still a kingdom though, with King George II on the throne. What is interesting is that Metaxas had fascist tendencies, took inspiration from fascist Italy, however he did not align himself with the Axis powers. The Greco-Italian War started on the 28th of October 1940. The Italians had given Greece an ultimatum to surrender strategic posts and let Italian troops pass unhindered through the country. Metaxas
to surrender
war began.
Through the country.
From Italian-held Albania, the Italians invaded Greece. Italian dictator Mussolini believed victory was to be easy, but the Greeks put up a stubborn defense. Next month, the Italians were pushed back.
You guys, something about Greece is like they fight back. Like they normally fight back in a stubborn defense. You guys, they don't easily give up on something. Like they don't just let go of something that they know is their freedom, something that they know is their right. They usually fight back. They go back and they fight back.
Into Italian-held Albania, and a stalemate set in. In December, Hitler made
they were pushed back
to invade Greece. With his eyes on the USSR, he could not risk war at his southern flanks. Greek leader Metaxas would not live to see the German invasion, because he passed away due to ill health in January. When March 1941 came around, fears for a German invasion were growing. Bulgaria had joined the Axis, and German troops amassed at the Bulgarian-Greek border. Most Greek troops were evacuated from western Thrace when this happened. In case of a German attack, these would be cut off quickly. The Greek army was under command of Alexandros Papakos. Only several border guard battalions remained, and behind the Metaxas line were the 7th, 14th and 18th Greek Division, with the 19th in reserve. All in all, around 70,000 men strong. Do notice that the Greek First Army, with 14 divisions, was in Albania at war with the Italians. Greece was not alone in this fight, as it was supported by Commonwealth forces. Australians, New Zealanders and British troops embarked in the Greek ports and took up positions near Salonika and at the Aliakmon line. They were led by Henry Wilson. On 6th of April...
You guys, the Greeks were never alone in this war. They were actually, there were Commonwealth there, there were Australia there, and one thing about Greece is that they actually make relationship with common countries, Commonwealth with neighboring countries, just in case,
1941, Germany invaded both Yugoslavia and Greece. I did make an episode about the Axis invasion of Yugoslavia. Link in the top right corner. The German plan of attack was named Operation Maria.
I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Through Yugoslavia, which was invaded simultaneously. German units did attack the northern Metaxas line and met stubborn Greek defense. After 3 days, the lines collapsed. Fort Rupel held out longer.
Stubborn Greek defense, you guys.
The Greeks fought off several attacks, even as Salonika is captured on April 9th.
Several attacks, oh my god.
But did capitulate the following day. The Germans disarmed the captured Greek soldiers, but then let them go. This had several reasons. Hitler had the Greeks in high regard and was impressed by their bravery against the Italians in the Greco-Italian War, but also because the Germans had no time to take all the surrendering Greek soldiers as prisoner of war. So what about the Greek First Army that was still stationed in Albania? They began giving...
Oh, was that the reason why they let them go? Because, you guys, are you serious? So a lot of Greece was actually captured by Germans during that period, but they actually let them go because of their unretailed war of the Italians, and because they did not even have a lot of space to keep the Greece people in their captives. That was why they disarmed them and let them go.
Up the lands they fought and died for in the past months. Morale was low. Exhausted by almost 6 months of fighting in the blizzards and sub-zero temperatures of the mountains, few among either officers or men had morale left to face a fresh and by reputation far more deadly adversary to their rear. Within days, discipline began to break down. Without proper orders from Athens, local commanders on their own initiative sued for terms. Outbreaks of mutiny occurred. The Greek army was disintegrating. British Commander Wilson had hoped the Greeks from Albania would come to defend Mount Olympus. Of April, the 9th Panzer Division fought in a battle tank on tank against the British near Ptolemais. The Germans lost.
Wow, you guys. Oh my god, like the Greeks actually went a lot. Like they actually went a lot through this invasion. And again, the thing is that they were stubborn enough to defend back. And they, according to this video, he called it when the German met the stubborn Greeks defenders. You guys, soldiers that were defending back, they were actually tireless. Like they were standing, stubborn, defendless. Like you are not going to come into my country. They were stubbornly defending and firing back at the Germans. You guys.
A handful of tanks, the British in the tents. The British pulled back, but the Germans could not pursue them right away because of the lack of ammunition and gas. The British decided to pull back to Thermopylae. The Battle of Lake Astoria on the 15th of April was the last land action involving the Greek army versus the Axis. Till the 16th, the Anzacs managed to hold the mountain passes further south. On April 18th,
lack of ammunition and gas.
The Prime Minister of Greece, Alexander Kourissis, shot himself. It gave the Allied troops little time to prepare their defenses as they were pushed back by the Germans. It became clear to the Germans that the Allies wanted to evacuate the mainland of Greece, and therefore they wanted to capture as much as Allied soldiers as possible. On the 20th of April, Commander Georgios Selakoglu, he decided to surrender to the Axis. Well, to the Germans, not the Italians. Selakoglu would later have the Greek collaborationist government. Meanwhile, the Allies, they wanted out, and they wanted out now. At Thermopylae, the place where centuries ago 300 Spartans fought against the invading Persians, now a unit of Australians fought off the Germans as long as possible so their allies could retreat. An Australian brigade fought at Bralos. Meanwhile, King George II was evacuated via ship from mainland Greece to Crete. The harbor of Piraeus, not too far from here actually, was severely damaged by German bombing. Therefore, the Allies had to make use of other ports to evacuate their troops, while the Germans were hot on their heels. When a detachment of SS Leibstandarte Adolf Hitler entered the Greek city of Patras, one observer wrote the following: "These men in helmets are carrying over their uniform light camouflage tunics, green, brown, and black, armed to the teeth, marching with a heavy but quick step. Human robots forming two rectangles of iron. They gave an impression of invincible force." On the 26th, German paratroopers landed at the Corinth Canal to secure the entrance to the Peloponnesus. The attack was successful, although the bridge got blown up and later repaired. And now to Acropolis, and here we see an interesting monument. On the 27th of April, the Germans entered Athens and they walked up the Acropolis. There was a Greek guard guarding the Greek flag. The Germans ordered the guard to take down the flag at once, which he refused. The Germans then did it themselves. They took down the Greek flag, raised the swastika flag, and handed the Greek flag over to the guard, who then took the flag and jumped off the Acropolis and fell to his death 60 meters below. Who was this man? It was Constantinos Koukidis. But who was he exactly? Well, many believed he was an F-zone guard, one of these special Greek guards, but he wasn't on the rolls. Others believed he was just a Greek soldier, but the Greek army had disintegrated by now. So, who was he really? Both German and Greek witnesses confirm a uniformed man jumped down the Acropolis with the Greek flag. Most likely, he was a member of the Metaxas fascist-like EON, the National Youth Organization. So that explains the uniform. After the war, anti-fascists wanted to hush up his identity. The weight of evidence suggests that Koukidis, whatever the uniform he was wearing, was a real person, and that the suicide story is authentic. Several eyewitnesses saw his body tumbling down the rocks to come to rest on
Oh my god, you guys, why did he actually jump down and die? Because they asked him to remove the flag, the Greece flag that was there, and they actually did it themselves. The Germans did it themselves. They removed it and put their own there. But what actually baffles me is that why did he pick it and jump down from 6 miles and actually die? And one of Greek soldier actually still shot himself too during this explanation I just saw. And you guys, this is really so messing with my brain.
Street, where a monument to his sacrifice now stands. The witnesses say he was put in an ice cart and trundled to a burial in Athens' first cemetery not far away. Such was the dramatic yet humble end of the last hero of the defense and fall of Greece. On the 29th, the south coast of the Peloponnesus was reached by the Germans. Around 50,000 British Commonwealth forces were successfully evacuated. Here are some more numbers. Lists 12th Army lost 1,420 men killed and 3,400 wounded. The Greeks themselves, from the start of the Italian invasion, lost 13,408 killed and 42,485 wounded. The Italian losses are roughly comparable. The Greeks also lost 23,000 men captured, though the great majority of these surrendered to the Germans, who subsequently let them go home. The Greek island of Crete was the last Allied stronghold in Greece. On the 20th of May, the Germans undertook a massive airborne assault. New Zealand, Australian, and British troops, as well as local Cretans, fought valiantly, inflicting huge losses on the incoming paratroopers. Yet, the Germans prevailed. Greece was fully occupied now. The Greek king and the government had made their way to Egypt. Greece was occupied by the Germans, the Italians, and the Bulgarians, and would see a brutal occupation. A famine claimed 250,000 of Greek lives. There was collaboration, there was resistance. More on that in the future. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button.
Guys, Greece was totally invaded, because a lot of them actually surrendered also, and there was 13,000 something killed. I feel like they were actually overpowered by the Germans. Yeah, I feel like it was overpowered. Like they were actually overpowered by the Germans, and I quite understand, because Greece, they are not much in population, you guys, and the Germans keep on invading, and they didn't just invade Greece that period. They also invaded what country was that? And you guys, this actually messed up my brain, you guys. This is so I don't even know what to say, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna be checking it out again, because I really want to understand something. I was being distracted when the guy shot himself, and the other person also committed suicide, because it was just like, yeah, being overpowered. I can't just live to see them do this to me. That is why he actually committed suicide. And anyway, please enlighten me more or educate me more on the comment section, and just break it down for us for a better understanding. Okay, thank you so much. I'll see you on my next one. Bye.